This week on Inside Boulder News. These Colorado natives are awakening from their winter slumber. Be bear aware. Are you prepared for an emergency? Experts give us tips on what we can do. And don't miss the NoBo Library's last community engagement event. Welcome to Inside Boulder News, your source for all things Boulder. I'm Jocelyn Avendaño. Springtime is here, bringing blooming flowers, better weather, and bears. Warmer weather means bears waking up from their winter slumber. Wildlife officials mark mid-April as the day bear activity is expected to pick up. We spoke to Val Matheson, the city's urban wildlife conservation coordinator, to learn what we can do to prevent a face-to-face with these animals. There are an estimated 12,000 black bears in the state of Colorado, some of them making their homes in and around Boulder County. As days become warmer this time of year, it isn't unusual to come across one here in town.
When they come through town, they're looking for good food opportunities. So if there's available trash or bird feeders or pet food left outside, or now we're seeing livestock like goats, chickens, bees, bears might try and eat those things.
Bear sightings are common in the city of Boulder, with wildlife officials receiving calls of sightings daily from those who live west of Broadway.
We can get up to 500 calls in a bear season. So once they wake up till they go to sleep for bear sightings. So we get a lot of reports.
Taking the necessary precautions to secure things away from bears is not only important for you, but for the life of these mammals as well.
The mortality of bears in urban areas is much higher than it is in natural areas. So it's important for people to understand what we've kind of suspected for many years has been shown in this study, that the urban area is not a safe place for bears and they're more likely to be killed.
By securing food sources in urban areas like the city, you may be saving a bear's life. If a bear can't find food in town, the less likely they are to come down to the city.
They come into town because their sense of smell is fantastic, much, much better than human sense of smell. And they sense out that there's food here with better caloric value than what they're foraging for in the natural areas. So basically, they're coming into town for a quicker, easier meal.
In the case of a bear sighting, it is important to call the police non-emergent dispatcher and let them know there's an active bear sighting. In cases of emergencies, always call 911. More information can be found on boulderwildlifeplan.net. Preparing our homes and ourselves for an emergency isn't something that crosses our minds every day. But when the unexpected does happen, we wish we were better prepared. Andrew NoBo with the Boulder Office of Emergency Management gives us tips on emergency preparation. Boulder is no stranger to natural disasters such as devastating floods and searing fires. Though the city has preventative measures in place, it's important for community members to have a plan of their own as well.
So it's really about being informed and having a process developed, having the conversation with your family, with your neighbors about what to do in the event of an emergency.
Andrew NoBo is an emergency management coordinator with the Boulder Office of Emergency Management. Boulder's OEM helps with the support and coordination of instant response in the field during large-scale disasters.
We're engaged with the city on a number of different levels for resiliency and preparedness. One of the major things is working on what we're calling disaster management planning.
NoBo says that the key things to have during an emergency are to have a plan, a go kit, and to be ready to respond. An emergency situation can happen at any given moment.
People should have an emergency plan because it's the best way to engage your household in advance of an emergency. It should outline and talk about what are the specific threats and hazards you may face in your household or in your community. It should look at, again, what are your different strategies for evacuation, sheltering in place, if you're put on pre-evacuation, and outline how you're going to communicate with your family.
It is recommended to have a 72-hour emergency kit. Things to include in this kit are identification documentation, clothing, food, and any special items tailored to your needs.
Disasters are stressful things. Emergencies are very stressful. And so unless you're planning and engaging in the conversation beforehand, that's the best way to ensure that you're going to have a safe response.
More information on emergency preparedness can be found on the website seen on screen. May 5th through the 11th marks National Small Business Week in Boulder. As part of their Path to Entrepreneurship program, Boulder Small Business Development Center will be holding a 2-hour startup workshop in Spanish. The Path to Entrepreneurship program was developed to support minorities with low to moderate income, women-owned businesses, and entrepreneurs. During the program, attendees will learn about business startup basics and other opportunities offered to support them. The workshop will be held on Monday, May 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the Canyon Meeting Room at Boulder's Public Library. More information can be found on bouldersbdc.com.
Preliminary planning for the new North Boulder Branch Library began in 2018. Since then, staff and architects have gone through a thorough community engagement process to get the public's feedback. Coming this month, architects will unveil their design for the new building in an exhibition that will also feature a number of their projects around the world over the past 15 years. Dan Wood, architect from Work AC, will be presenting an update on the NoBo Branch Library project. An overview of the input received during the March community engagement sessions will also be provided to outline how the feedback received influenced the overall design of the new library. A large-scale model of the new branch will be presented and will be displayed in the library's Canyon Gallery along with other work Work AC has done.
I think people will be pleasantly surprised with the new design. They'll be really excited about the level of detail that the architects have included both in and outside of the library. The way that they've given their feedback in terms of how the outside playground will look, what community gardens might look like, what kind of parking they want to see, what types of exterior landscaping people are interested in. We heard all of these things from the community and have highlighted them on the new library model, so that will be really fun for people to see.
The presentation will be held on Friday, May 10th from 5 to 6 p.m. in the Boulder Main Library's Canyon Theater, with the opening reception following from 6 to 8 p.m. This will be the project's last engagement event before it moves forward in the planning process. More information can be found by visiting boulderlibrary.org/NoBo branch. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Boulder News. If you have pictures, news tips, or events you'd like to see featured, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe. Have a good week.